And we are just about set for our second game this afternoon. Day one of the U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase, live on Bell Alliance TV1. Scott Squires with you and our Bell Alliance TV1 crew. This is the New Brunswick U18 boys going right to left on your screen, wearing the green and white, taking on the Nova Scotia U17 boys, going left to right on your screen. Nova Scotia, coached by Mike Locke, and New Brunswick, coached by Kevin Tolpaniski. Just about ready to go here. Had a great chance to talk to Amit Batra, the coach of Acadia Women's Soccer. He's actually going to be coaching game later on tonight, and of course, here getting a close look at some of the committed Acadia recruits. So important weekend for Atlantic University Sports Schools to get to see some of their committed athletes playing here at this event at Acadia University, and as well for the players who have yet to commit to a school. It's nice for them to be able to have an opportunity to play before scouts and recruiters from the different schools and colleges, universities in Canada and the U.S. So we are underway here. First half action. Nova Scotia U17 boys, New Brunswick U18 boys. We are live from Raymond Field. 40-minute halves in this event. New Brunswick gets it in play. This is LeBlanc Stokes. Over there for Perry. Perry, turnover in front and a big save. Rebound chance, they score! A turnover in front of the goal. And Nova Scotia makes no mistake as they pounce on that loose ball in front. Bit of a scramble play. And white jerseys from Nova Scotia right there and ready to pounce on that ball. And making no mistake when he got the chance was Sien Toussaint Ocedal. So Ocedal makes it 1-0 for Nova Scotia. New Brunswick will look to counter now, and that strike coming in just the second minute of this one. So Ocedal with the nice goal. So a great start for Team Nova Scotia, just the start they wanted. McCarthy for New Brunswick. That ball goes all the way back there. Chased down. McGinn tried to get to it for New Brunswick. Again, pressure from Nova Scotia. Falling over top of that ball was Jackson Harvey. Again, they look to get that ball quickly into play, but it'll be a free kick now. And this will be Ocedal again, lining it up, and this is from about 25 yards, so dangerous territory here for this free kick. You see New Brunswick setting up their wall, but this is very manageable distance for this free kick. Dangerous opportunity coming here. Here's the goal scorer, Ocedal with the blast, just going wide. Sien Toussaint Ocedal leaning into that one. and hammering it just wide of the goal. A couple of great opportunities already here for Nova Scotia. They've capitalized on one, and a very close chance again with that free kick from 25 yards. Just a great atmosphere here at Acadia University on the campus at Raymond Field. They've got hot dogs cooking. All kinds of players and coaches and family around. It's going to be a good weekend of soccer action here from Raymond Field. Alex England gets it into play. And he watches his teammates now work it back. Over Zinn gets it into the middle. Nova Scotia not taking any chances. They get it back to Caneen Fells. Fells gets challenged there. New Brunswick very aggressive. Right in on top of that ball, and in looking for a loose ball there was Kalalumia, and couldn't get a foot on it, but just aggressive play there as New Brunswick forcing the issue, and Fells had to be very sharp. So just 5 minutes into this one, Nova Scotia U17, that early goal by Occidal, leading 1-0. Just early on here in this first half, Nova Scotia working it along the line, and that'll go out for a goal kick. Players now retreating back into that midfield area, awaiting the goal kick. Sky high, bounces past everyone. Heading it forward there was Aquino. Nicholas Aquino on that ball again. Coming up to help out from the back was Hooper. Hooper got challenged there, and New Brunswick will look to turn it the other way. On that far side, trying to get it to come down onto his right foot was Landry for New Brunswick. Nova Scotia aggressive on that ball again, and almost a chance there right in front from about 15 yards, but it got turned away. Send us a message on social media. Use the hashtag TV1, that's TV and the number 1, hashtag TV1. Send us out your social media message. Let us know where you're watching from. If you know anybody on the team, family, friends, loved ones, whatever, love to hear from you. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia going head-to-head here. Second game. It's the U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase presented by Soccer Nova Scotia. Some of the best that Atlantic Canada has to offer in soccer talent at the U18 and U17 level. And we are very pleased to bring you all of the action live on bellalliant.ca/TV1. Nova Scotia forcing the issue now again down deep in that New Brunswick zone, and the ball goes out over the goal line, and it will be a goal kick for New Brunswick, as it was Nova Scotia who last touched the ball. New Brunswick with the goal kick here. Games coming up later today, scheduled for 6:30 Atlantic time. Two Nova Scotia teams will go head-to-head in that one, and then at 8:30 Atlantic time, Nova Scotia U18 boys taking on New Brunswick under-17 boys. And that will round out our schedule for today. New Brunswick throwing that ball in, trying to work it in toward the middle part of the field. A 1v2 battle there. New Brunswick work it over into the middle. Challenge there, and the ball sent right back out towards midfield. New Brunswick look to work it up this left side. Ball comes back there onto the foot of Ellingwood. And now back to that back line defense. Working it over was McGinn. McGinn goes onto the far side. New Brunswick again trying to work that up forward. Good cover up by the Nova Scotia defensively there, and now Team Nova Scotia look to move it forward, but New Brunswick on that ball again. Couple of players collide and the ball goes out of bounds. Both teams having difficulty getting that ball out of that midfield area. It's kind of, the play is in between the two 40-yard stripes right now. Nova Scotia work it to their back line. Looking to get it forward. That didn't quite work out. Nova Scotia chipping it up ahead again. Now New Brunswick will play it back, let the keeper handle things, and they'll move it up to Perry. Logan Perry comes over on this near side for LeBlanc Stokes. LeBlanc Stokes chips it up there. Nova Scotia again looking to get that ball forward. Tried to get it over into the middle. Ball comes back, quick shot in, and that's gobbled up quickly. And New Brunswick wastes no time in getting that ball forward. Quick little pass forward there. That came off the foot of the New Brunswick player. And I do apologize, the New Brunswick team did not have numbers listed on their roster. I got the numbers for the roster last minute, including some players who are not in the event that were listed in the program, and a couple of players out there right now have numbers that I was not given as part of the player list. So I do apologize. Again, just moments before the game started, I got the actual jersey numbers for the team, but as I see a couple of players out there that have jersey numbers that I was not given as being assigned to a player, so as I don't have a name assigned to a particular jersey number, well, I'm not going to guess at it. So we'll just go with a number if need be on that particular instance. Hopefully we can talk to the tournament organizers and get that all straightened out and get those roster names and numbers all in order as we move forward. Those things can happen in a large event like this, especially sometimes if you got players coming on board or dropping out at the last minute. Those things can happen. Into the 13th minute now in this first half. Just the one goal on the board. It came very early on in the second minute. It was Sian Toussaint-Occidal who grabbed the ball after a scramble in front of the New Brunswick goal and cashed it in for that 1-0 lead. New Brunswick again looking to work it forward. Turning away from it there was Ellingwood. Ball goes down the far side and out of bounds, and Nova Scotia will get the throw in. "27 minutes left to play in this half. Nova Scotia with the 1-0 lead. Long throw in there for Nova Scotia. Turning with it there was Welsh. New Brunswick converge on that ball quickly and they pick it up. They'll try to gather it now and move it forward. And as I say that, they push it to their back line. Get things set. Trying to make a run down that side was LeBlanc Stokes. Couldn't get the ball through to him. And the white jerseyed Nova Scotia side cover up quickly. Harvey chasing it now. Harvey collides hard there with Perry as the two players came together in a pile along that sideline. And Harvey looked a little worse for wear after he ran into Logan Perry from Team New Brunswick. Solid collision right in front of our broadcast position here, but both players are up and back into the fray. Alex England will set the free kick now for Team Nova Scotia. Tried to get it through the middle. New Brunswick smartly block it down and turn it the other way. And falling on it there was Fells, as New Brunswick looked to get that ball in behind everybody and create some problems. Mesamengo was in there, 11 in green for New Brunswick. Comes back out, and New Brunswick will again regroup. LeBlanc Stokes takes a look around, decides to take it to the back line again for Perry. Into the middle. New Brunswick will work it up. Ellingwood tried to get a foot on it there for New Brunswick, but it comes to Nova Scotia again. And they push it out of bounds, so that'll be a throw-in for Team New Brunswick. LeBlanc Stokes now will throw in for the boys in green. Gets it along that near sideline, picked up there by Harvey for Nova Scotia. Moved forward there. Getting that ball up ahead was Hebert for New Brunswick. Into the middle of the field now where New Brunswick will gather once again. Turning with it was McGinn. And then Nova Scotia forcing New Brunswick to go all the way back to their keeper and reset with Perry once again on this near side. Perry. Gentle little chip up ahead. He got it up forward. Number 9 is one of the players I do not have a number assigned to, so of the list of players I have, there is not a number 9, so I do apologize if I cannot say the gentleman's number at this particular time. We'll look to try and get that information at halftime. New Brunswick working with that ball now, trying to get into the middle. But Nova Scotia covering up nicely. Harvey will turn with it. Harvey. LeBlanc Stokes stole it away from him. Good play there by 7 in green. And then getting knocked down and falling to the turf was Patrick Hebert for Team New Brunswick. That'll give the free kick to New Brunswick. Ellingwood gives way. Looks to be Mesamengo now who will take that free kick. Tries to chip it up forward and see if one of his mates could run onto it, maybe get a head on that ball, but with that heavy breeze, once that ball gets up in the air, you never know what may happen, and I think the wind kind of helped that ball go a little more aloft than Mesamengo would have liked, and it carries out for a goal kick for Fells. Headed right back down by New Brunswick, and then Nova Scotia calmly heads it in there as Sethi took it back to his keeper. Gives Fells a chance to sky that ball all the way down, headed back to the keeper by Perry, and New Brunswick now will once again reset and turn the other way. 1-0 your score. Nova Scotia leading. Turning with it is Harvey. Into the middle. New Brunswick tried to get a foot on that, but it does go out of bounds. Some Fancy footwork there coming from Matthew McCarthy, but couldn't quite make connection with the ball, and Alex England will now throw in for Nova Scotia. Along the line, Aquino has it, and again it rolls out, and we'll do it all over again. England will throw in again for Nova Scotia. Nice job by there for Osidal, trying to put his back to the defender. Turning with it that time, moving it upfield was New Brunswick. Nice through ball. Massamingo tried to run onto it there. As getting it forward is Kalalumia. So Kalalumia saw Massamingo busting up the middle, saw the opportunity to let his mate try to run onto it, and the speedy Massamingo gave it a good go, but couldn't quite catch up. I would expect to see that play more than once in the remainder of this game, as the speedy Massamingo and Kalalumia, both given the opportunity, can really get a good pace going. And if they can get a ball ahead New Brunswick, those two gentlemen have fine jets to be able to catch up to a through ball. There is Massamingo, the aforementioned speedy player for New Brunswick, wearing 11 in green. Osidal now chips it gently forward, gets it back now. Osidal working with it, has McCarthy up ahead. Can McCarthy get there? He does, but it's just a little too deep. Tries to chip it back out front, and Nova Scotia takes the opportunity just to kick that ball out of bounds. But a nice play there as New Brunswick moved that ball smartly forward and almost had a good opportunity on goal. That's a little bit more spark for New Brunswick in this half. I'm sure that Coach Tolpaniski will take a little more of that from his side. Nova Scotia controlling, moving that ball well beyond the reach there of Jackson Harvey. Glad that you're watching wherever you're checking out our webcast today on Bell Line TV1. I'm Scott Squires here with the TV1 crew live at Raymond Field in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, on the campus of beautiful Acadia University. Send us a message on social media. Use the hashtag TV1, and that's the number 1. Here's New Brunswick now with it. Some good work by Kalalumia. Puts his back to the defender and now pushes that ball back. Long ball forward there, and again, you put that ball in the air, you never know what's going to happen, because there is again, and it's worth mentioning that breeze is stiff and the gusts even stiffer. And in the game of soccer, where a lot of times you try to lift that ball in the air and get it past the back line of the defenders and run onto it, it can change your approach a little bit from the offensive standpoint when any kind of ball in the air is going to be kind of messed with by the wind. Play down in this Nova Scotia end now for the last few minutes, and again, Nova Scotia kicks the ball out of play. Less than a half, if you will. 40-minute half. We are now into the 22nd minute. Not a lot of flow the last few minutes here, as both of these teams have kind of come to a saw-off here. New Brunswick plays it in, cross into the middle, and getting ahead on it there was Perry. Put it toward goal, but not much problem for Fells as he gets it quickly forward there down the line, trying to find Fenton. Oh Only one defender to beat, but couldn't corral that ball, and it goes out of bounds. And Nova Scotia now will get a chance to throw in here. Free kick for Nova Scotia from about 36 yards out. Wind at their back for this. Long ball curling in, and it goes well beyond the corner. Right idea, just not the execution that Nova Scotia needed on that. Goal kick now for New Brunswick, who trail 1-0 to Team Nova Scotia in this half. New Brunswick trying to get control, turning his back to the defender. Here's a through ball now. McCarthy catches up to it very deep, gets it into the middle, and it looks like it's put in, and I believe it is number 11, Massamingo. I called his number earlier and said he might be dangerous, and the ball came through to McCarthy. He caught up to it very deep, but was able to cross it over into the middle, and Herthier Massamingo with the tally, and we are tied 1-1. So New Brunswick answers back. The 55th minute. Massamingo with the goal. So we are knotted 1-1. And again, it was Matthew McCarthy who had that ball put forward. He caught up to it, was quite deep, but was able to spot Massamingo, cross it over, and Massamingo right on the doorstep, make no mistake in depositing that ball into the back of the goal. So it's been Osidal for Team Nova Scotia, and now Massamingo for Team New Brunswick, and we are tied 1-1. Want to remind you to join Cyril Lunny and myself Monday mornings at 8:40 a.m. Atlantic time for the Sideline Scoop on CTV Morning Atlantic. Cyril and myself will talk about TV1 sports coverage and all of the local sports that we have presented or will be showing in the coming weeks. That's Monday mornings at 8:40 Atlantic time, the Sideline Scoop on CTV Mornings Atlantic. Always have a lot of fun when I get to sit down at the CTV studios in Halifax with Cyril. A great bunch of people work behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera at CTV Morning Atlantic. Always enjoy my time when I go in there on Monday mornings. There's always a McDonald's coffee ready to be brewed in the old Tassimo coffee machine. And again, it's a lovely time at the CTV studios. And again, don't miss the Sideline Scoop. That's Monday mornings at 8:40 a.m. And here at Raymond Field, it's the second game of day one of the U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. It's the Nova Scotia U17 boys team and the New Brunswick U18 boys team currently tied 1-1 here in this first half. New Brunswick worked that goal. Here's McCarthy, who set up the last New Brunswick tally, working hard and goes in against England, and England gets the worst of that one as he hit the deck hard, but bounces right back up and moves that ball forward for his teammate Harvey. Harvey tried to work it over for Aquino, but it's Masamengo now with speed. Masamengo right along the line, takes it in, gets it out front, shot there, rebound chance, off the post. What an opportunity in front, all started by Masamengo, and somehow that ball stayed out. I'm not sure, it was so tight that I don't know if it was a Nova Scotia defender or the post that it hit, but the ball came out in a real hurry. But again, it was all started by Masamengo down in the corner, and he took that ball right around the goal line and worked it in toward the front. And anxious moments in front of the Nova Scotia goal, but the ball stays out and we stay tied 1-1. New Brunswick again trying to send a high ball in. LeBlanc Stokes didn't quite get the angle on that, and that sails high and well beyond the goal, and Fells has to chase that right to the very back fence beyond the track to corral that ball. But a very, very close opportunity there for New Brunswick. And again, I called his number earlier on. You just had the feeling that Masamengo, number 11 in green, was going to be a dangerous player for this New Brunswick side, and it certainly has played out that way so far. He's got a goal, and he's created several other offensive opportunities. Nova Scotia with the throw in now from their side of center. New Brunswick gets ahead on it, and again the ball will bounce to the line but not out. Nova Scotia tried to move it forward, just the green jersey there, and New Brunswick gets it right back up to the middle. They go back to the keeper now. A couple of quick, crisp little passes, and New Brunswick now have that ball right around center. Up ahead, New Brunswick again looking to work with it and getting it down deep, and it'll go just beyond the goal line. Then this should be a goal kick now for Nova Scotia, but it appears that New Brunswick has been energized by that Masamengo marker minutes ago, as they've had the pressure on here for the last few minutes. Here's Osidal, the goal scorer. Gets it up ahead there. Nice through ball for Harvey. Harvey left it behind. Picked up there by Kennedy. Jack Kennedy throws it in quickly. Working with it now is Harvey, deep down into the corner. Being watched there by LeBlanc Stokes. Harvey tries to work around the defender. New Brunswick covers up nicely. Lifts this ball high into the air, but it does go out of play, and it will be turned over now to Team Nova Scotia. England throws it in quickly. Aquino got challenged from behind, and the ball goes out of bounds. But again, it'll be Nova Scotia with the throw in, not wasting any time is Harvey. Jackson Harvey throws it in. This is Aquino. Takes the off-balance right-footed kick in toward goal. No problem there. And New Brunswick now will send it back the other way. 1-1 your score here in this game between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Been an entertaining half so far. Both teams have had opportunity, and certainly the last few minutes it's been New Brunswick that have had a couple of real good chances, and Masamengo has kind of been the straw stirring that New Brunswick drink. England got it over there. Harvey tried to get a foot on it, goes into the center, trying to reach it. Was a bear for New Brunswick. Over on the far side, Kalalumia now. Kalalumia goes to the back line for New Brunswick. Now they try to move it up. Masamengo is there in chase, but it's Sethi who gets there first. Back and forth they go. Nova Scotia now will move it in toward the center of the pitch. On this near side, England puts it down, tried to move around, but a good job there by McCarthy. Sliding tackle, knocks that ball out. England, again, quickly up with it, puts it in. On him again is McCarthy. McCarthy has had a strong half here for New Brunswick, wearing 14 in green. His presence has certainly been felt here for New Brunswick. Throw in goes to McCarthy. He tries to head it up and over the tackle of England. but it goes out of bounds off the head of McCarthy. And again, England to throw in for Team Nova Scotia. Trying to work around his man was Osidal. That doesn't work. Mesamengo up front, and the 2'11s, Mesamengo and Cameron Zinn, go high into the air, come tumbling down, and get right back up. Nova Scotia watching this attack now from New Brunswick. Long ball forward, and only a white jersey there, and it belongs to Cameron Zinn. Up into the middle. Knocked down, Nova Scotia turns with it now. That was Hooper. Long lead pass again. Nova Scotia trying to sneak in behind that back line of New Brunswick. That didn't work. New Brunswick gather it up. They turn it the other way. Into the 39th minute now of play. Or excuse me, 34th minute. 40-minute halves here. 1-1 your score. Scott Squires, Bell Line TV1. Glad to have you with us. Broadcasting via webcast. It's the U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. We are at Raymond Field on the campus of Acadia University. This is where the Acadia soccer team, rugby team, and football team all play their varsity sports during the university year. The Bell Line TV1 crew here several times throughout the varsity sports season. And we were very excited to bring you all of the action that we did this past year in Atlantic University sport, and certainly exciting times for, as we see this free kick from New Brunswick in, Fells out to grab it. But it was very exciting times for Acadia University, certainly on the rugby side, as the Acadia women's rugby team, for their first time in the history of their program, won the Atlantic University Sport Women's Rugby Championship. And they went on to represent the Atlantic University Sport Conference very well at nationals. But again, St. FX women's rugby for 18 years had dominated women's rugby, but the Acadia side was bound and determined to break that string, and they certainly did. It was an exciting final, and this is where the Acadia Women's Rugby Championships reside, right here at Raymond Field. Here's the kick in from Osidal, crosses it into the middle, and nobody there to cover up except for LeBlanc Stokes for New Brunswick. Play into the front of Keno, trying to get to it there, but again, New Brunswick able to clear it out of harm's way. Nova Scotia will gather it up right around that 35-yard line. Right back into the middle. Headed away there nicely by Perry, and he turns it right back the other way. New Brunswick, little chip ahead. Smart little back heel pass there from Mesamengo. That was cheeky indeed. Here's McCarthy now. He helped set up that Mesamengo goal earlier. Loses the handle on it, but it's right back onto the foot of number 9 for New Brunswick. Getting knocked down there was Hooper as he tried to get a foot on it. Hooper will lumber forward now. Osidal gets it into the middle. Hooper still working up front. Ball comes to him, just goes beyond his foot, and right back into midfield. New Brunswick will bring that ball around now. Turning it, tried to get it over toward the sideline, but Harvey pushes it down deep. And throwing a shoulder into his man was LeBlanc Stokes, and the ball goes out past the end line, and it'll be a goal kick for New Brunswick. Final 3 minutes of this half. 1-1 the score in this one. A dandy fixture going here between Nova Scotia U17 boys and the New Brunswick U18 boys. And it looks like Kennedy might have gotten a shove from behind. So we'll see now, I believe, a free kick awarded to Nova Scotia from quite long range, though. From the New Brunswick side of things, from right around that 50-yard stripe at midfield. Just around that bright red Acadia A. Players still jostling for position in behind as the free kick from Sethi comes in. And it's turned right back the other way. New Brunswick clear it up. Sethi in looking for it. He brings it down now to the turf. Sethi, gentle little pass forward. Nova Scotia very controlled on their side of the ball. Moving it forward. Here they come again. The white-clad Nova Scotia side. They lose it. Kalalumia now gets it up for Massamingo. Here they come, the dynamic duo, Kalalumia and Massamingo. Over to Massamingo again. You could see that play develop from about the 30-yard line in as Kalalumia and Massamingo came in side by side. Kalalumia dumped it off to Massamingo and then back the other way, and as Kalalumia had that ball down the right side, you could see what Massamingo wanted to do. He headed straight for goal, and they just couldn't connect. But again, you just get the feeling you're going to hear from those two a few more times in this game. Final minute now in this half. Ball goes out of bounds, and they'll reset things. Bell Alliant TV1 proud to be the official webcaster for the 2016 U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. Live from Raymond Field on the campus of Acadia University in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Bell Alliant, there is more to love with fiber op. Last half minute now. And again, we'll see what head referee has in terms of extra time. We'll find out in about 15 seconds. This corner driven in low and turned right back the other way. Nova Scotia will try again. Long range shot up high and over the goal in behind where several players are warming up. I'm sure getting ready to sub in that second half. Teams wanting to use a lot of substitutions in the first few days of play here to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to play and gets a look. So it would appear that the referee decides that no extra time is needed. The whistle blast signifies the end of half number one. So one half in the books. It was Osidal tallying for Nova Scotia in the second minute. And then in the 55th minute, tying it up for New Brunswick, was Herthier Massamingo. And that's where we stand. New Brunswick and Nova Scotia knotted 1-1 after one. You're watching the Under-18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase from Raymond Field in Acadia University, live on Bell Alliant TV1. We'll step aside. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, tied at 1. Second half, just about ready to fire up here in this game between the New Brunswick U18 boys and Nova Scotia U17 boys. Teams have switched ends for this second half. Again, 40-minute halves here. New Brunswick wearing the green and white will now be going left to right on your screen. Nova Scotia wearing the white with blue will now be going right to left. 2 goals in that first half. One for Nova Scotia coming off the foot of Sian Toussaint Ocedal in the second minute. Nova Scotia off to that early start. New Brunswick started to get a little momentum late in that half. And it was number 11, Herthier Messamingo, nodding it up for New Brunswick, and that's where we are. Toussaint Ocedal in the second minute, Messamingo in the 25th minute, and we're tied 1-1, and an aggressive play there by Brockbank for New Brunswick, and it looks like Brockbank might have just got shown the yellow card right there for that aggressive tackle on Blake Fenton. So a dangerous free kick opportunity here. It's from a sharp angle, but it's in tight. So a good opportunity early in this second half. Nova Scotia struck early in half number 1. Let's see if they can do the same thing here. Laser beam across, headed up into the air, and comes down onto the foot of New Brunswick. But a great cross there from Ocedal as he sent that hard and low in toward the front of that New Brunswick goal. And Isaac Phillips now playing goal in this second half for New Brunswick. Had to be sharp. So Andre LeBlanc played half number 1 in goal for New Brunswick, and Isaac Phillips now in goal for New Brunswick here in half number 2. And I want to say thank you to Kate Fines from the Nova Scotia U17 side. She's actually doing the game clock here for the field and actually went down and got some information for me. She found out who the keeper was for New Brunswick in this half, and as well, she got a name for number 9 on New Brunswick. Number 9 is Dante Bonsella. So, Kate Fines, thank you for that. Here's Ocedal again with the deep low cross, and it's cleared away. So that's a couple of real nice free kicks that Ocedal has just lifted about 4 feet off the turf and has had all kinds of pace. So a good start for Nova Scotia here in the first couple of minutes of this second half as they've had the pressure on this New Brunswick side. This game tied 1-1. Back there now for Sethi. He plays catch with a teammate, gets it back, goes forward again. Over on this near side, Welsh calling for it and gets it. Here's Graham Welsh. Gets it up ahead there for Fenton. Fenton decides to go back to Sethi once again. Over there was Diabet. Number 6, Youssef Diabet for New Brunswick. Nice play there as Blake Fenton came in to pick that ball off, but New Brunswick right back on it again. And Cameron Zinn hits the turf and the play whistle down. So an active start here to this second half between these two teams. Couple of free kicks, some aggressive tackles. Both these teams going right for it here. Ball forward, handled nicely there by New Brunswick. Messamingo, dangerous as ever with the ball. Gets forced out of bounds though. New Brunswick will have possession here. We are in the second half of this game. Game number 2 of 4 here on day 1 of this U18 Atlantic Showcase. Nova Scotia trying to work that ball from deep in their end. Nova Scotia will throw in. Chested down there by Aquino. And now Nova Scotia able to work that ball forward. And they come down with some speed. Hooper stops up, gives it back for Fenton. Fenton takes it toward the middle, steps over the ball. Tried to use a little fancy footwork there to throw off the defender, but New Brunswick would have none of it. They move it forward. Masamengo had it just go past him. And now Nova Scotia right back the other way. Ayub Alarbi got that ball forward, and it comes down into the arms of Isaac Phillips. Long ball forward there. Turn back now. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy kicked that ball forward, and it goes past everybody. And again, Phillips will grab a hold of it and move it forward. Gets it up ahead there. McGinn moved it forward. Now it's on this near side right in front of our broadcast position. New Brunswick moves it forward, goes off ahead and comes down again in possession of Nova Scotia. Stepping up to pick that ball off there was New Brunswick, and Brockbank did a nice job, but it's turned over again. Comes down to Fenton. Blake Fenton now calmly chips it back to his mate Alarbi. Alarbi goes back into the middle of the field. Turned up there by Zinn. Nova Scotia with some good ball possession here. Neat little ball forward for Welsh. Welsh stops it right along the line, steps around the defender, puts it over into the middle. And the Nova Scotia player, Osidal, taken down aggressively. Long shot goes wide of the goal. So a nice run there and a nice ball crossed in. But Osidal taken down, and no call on that. And Isaac Phillips will set that down for this goal kick here. Into the 46th minute of play in this game. That ball goes out of bounds. Visit bellalliant.ca/TV1 for the webcast and TV schedule, as well as on-demand content. You can also get information on live events available only to Bell Alliant Fiber Op customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1 and 401. Bell Alliant, there's more to love with Fiber Op. Nova Scotia, New Brunswick knotted at one here. Both teams have come out aggressive here in this second half. Blake Fenton puts that ball back. Nova Scotia will regroup now from their back line. Alarbi got it back, and now they move it up along this left side. Fenton tried to work it over toward the middle as Graham Welsh was making a run down that left side. Perhaps he didn't see him, but there's a long shot in, and that's well wide of the goal, and that'll go all the way beyond the track, down the hill, and looks like Isaac Phillips, the goalkeeper for New Brunswick, is going to go for a little jog. Off he goes, past the track, down the hill. Just like when you're playing road hockey or baseball as a kid. Ball goes out of play, hey, you go chase it. Although when I was a kid playing road hockey in Clayton Park in Halifax, there was one sewer I always remember, and we used to try to block it and put bricks in front of it or wood. Our orange hockey ball would always seem to go down that one drain. And you know, you're thinking to yourself, why didn't you play somewhere else? Because it was the best street, most flat, most protected area for us to play road hockey. There were hardly any cars, so we always still loved to play there. But my gosh, that storm drain. How many hockey balls did that thing eat? Took me right back to it as I watched Isaac Phillips chase that ball all the way down that hill. In toward the middle there, cleared away. Nova Scotia trying to put pressure. Phillips comes out and goes up over the back of his teammate to grab that ball and get control of it. Turnover now, dangerously kicked it forward as Blake Fenton seemed to read that play for Nova Scotia and rushed in quickly and almost created a great chance for Team Nova Scotia. New Brunswick back onto it now. This is Boucher. Boucher kicks it back, and now they go forward once again. Nova Scotia head it right back as the teams go seesaw back and forth right now. This is Welsh. Welsh gets it over. His teammate now will do a little footwork and move it up ahead. This is Fenton. Blake Fenton goes around one defender. This is Fenton. Takes it to the left foot, deep into the corner, crosses it in. Little bit of a bobble there in front. Couple of players reaching for it. But a nice run again there from Nova Scotia as they were able to take that ball down into the corner, cross it into the middle. But again, New Brunswick covers up, and Phillips was able to avoid any further damage. 1-1 your score here. Nova Scotia under 17 boys, New Brunswick under 18 boys. And again, goal kick opportunity here for Phillips. A little bit of back and forth here. High into the air. Headed nicely by McGinn. And now sent back to the keeper by Logan Perry. Kennedy controls. Dumps it off to his teammate. Trying to find Osidal up ahead. That was blocked down now. Trying to get it up to Masamengo. That didn't work. Right idea, though, from Youssef Diabet. Ball comes down onto the foot of Blake Fenton for Nova Scotia. He was challenged there. And good defensive work by Mark Brockbank. Reach out to us on social media. Send us your messages. Use the hashtag TV1. That's TV and the number 1. Tell us where you're watching, who you're cheering for. Mention a player if you like. We always like to hear from you, and sometimes we'll even try and read your social media messages on the air if we get opportunity to. Ball goes out of bounds now. Welsh will throw in for Nova Scotia. Tried to get it over into the middle, find Osidal. It ends up coming down to him. Here's a ball forward now. Fenton runs onto it. Fenton, nice job there as catching up to him quickly was Reese McGinn. McGinn did a nice job as they found Fenton down that left side with that lead ball forward that Fenton ran onto. And a good job by Reese McGinn to run back and to create enough defensive pressure to hinder any chance that Fenton might have had. Ball along that sideline, and it goes out. So that'll be another throw in here for Team Nova Scotia. Fenton chips it forward there. Welsh couldn't get a foot on it. Coming down with it was New Brunswick. Ellingwood, he lost it, and Nova Scotia will move it up again. Ellingwood went high into the air, couldn't quite get his head on it, but Nova Scotia couldn't reach it either, and now New Brunswick sends it back to their keeper, Phillips. Phillips got it forward for Brockbank. Brockbank now watches the Nova Scotia player Fenton right down into the corner. Fenton tries to get it into the middle, but it was blocked down nicely there. Good defensive work from both Brockbank and McGinn covering up there in the corner for New Brunswick. A quick corner put in. Nova Scotia controlling now again, deep in, trying to cross it over there was Fenton. And it goes by everybody and right through out the other side. And Nova Scotia will have a throw in once again. Into our 55th minute of play here in this game. We are still knotted at 1, and just a reminder, in the round-robin portion, there is no overtime or penalty kicks. If it's a draw, it's a draw. New Brunswick trying to move that ball forward. They take it into the middle. Here's Masamengo. Around one defender, around two. Here he is with a chip shot. He scores! Masamengo, Magic Man, 2-1 New Brunswick. He has certainly been consistently the most dangerous player on the pitch in this game this afternoon. And like the finest artist weaving a brush on a canvas, Masamengo did some artwork there as he worked by not one, not two, but three Nova Scotia defenders and deposited that ball in the back of the goal for an absolute gem. Certainly worthy of a TV1 highlight for sure. Masamengo with his second and a lovely goal to say the least. So Masamengo in the 56th minute has put New Brunswick into the lead. Working with it now is Ellingwood. He goes back to his keeper Phillips, who puts it deep down into the Nova Scotia zone. Can Masamengo do it again? And a great job there getting back to that ball. Cameron Zinn had to use every ounce of speed in his two legs to get to that ball ahead of the speedy Masamengo. Reaching in for it there was Lorette, Alexandre Lorette. Reaching for it again. Lorette creating some problems for Nova Scotia, number 2 in green. Lorette has that ball again. Decides to go to the back line now, and again New Brunswick. Not liking the way things were shaping up, they went back to the keeper. Phillips got it forward. New Brunswick now. Almost lost control of that ball as Nova Scotia just about had a chance from about 20 yards. But Phillips covers up and grabs that ball, no problem. New Brunswick again looking to come in on the attack. Lawler couldn't quite get the result that he wanted there. And a substitution now for Team New Brunswick. Checking out of the game is number 15, Mark Brockbank. And coming onto the pitch, Avery LeBlanc-Stokes. So 7 in and 15 out for Team New Brunswick. Sethi clears that ball out of harm's way. Nova Scotia looking to get that ball into the middle. It was blocked down there by Diabet. Masamengo chips the ball up over the defender. Here he comes again. Masamengo gets it for Lorette. Little give and go, and a nice chance there as Lawler was the recipient of that magic between Lorette and Masamengo. The ball ended up on the foot of Lawler, and he just shot it wide. But there again was Masamengo creating magic as he chipped the ball up over the defender. It went to Lorette. Lorette and Masamengo played a little give and go. It ended up going over to Jimmy Lawler, who had a great opportunity and just went wide with it. Nova Scotia now controls. Sethi gets it up. Masamengo got a foot in there. Fenton now for Nova Scotia. Lorette just overran that ball. Osidal way over on that far side, gets it to his teammate. Back to Osidal, just beyond him. Tries to catch up to it. It goes over the end line. And last touched by Osidal from Nova Scotia, so it'll be a goal kick for Phillips and New Brunswick. Bell Alliance TV1 is proud to be the official webcaster for the 2016 U18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. From the campus of Acadia University and Raymond Field in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Bell Alliance, there's more to love with FiberOp. Messamingo now looking to go through everybody. Tried to get it up to Jocelyn Boucher, and that quite didn't connect. But again, Messamingo, dangerous, dodging, and dynamic, is number 11 in green. Long ball in there. Tried to do a little quick chip up and over. And again, New Brunswick certainly has been buoyed by that Messamingo marker in minute 56. And the last few minutes, New Brunswick has had the better of the offensive chances. But still, just a one-goal game here. New Brunswick leading 2-1. Lots of time left. 19 and a half minutes in this half. Time for Nova Scotia to get something going. They're going to have to get out of their zone, though. Here comes Sethi. Arjun Sethi moves it up now for Welsh. Welsh tight ropes the line. Forward for Fenton. Fenton being challenged there by LeBlanc Stokes. Back out to shot there right off the foot of Osidal. What a blast! 25 yards out. Osidal took about 5 paces, stepped into the cross, drove it low, drove it hard, and drove it to the back of the goal, and we're tied 2-2. Well, it's been Osidal with 2, Messamingo with 2, and we're tied at 2. New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. I said they had lots of time, and well, they certainly didn't waste any time in getting that ball into the middle. And Cien Toussaint Osidal makes no mistake as he drives it into the back of the net. And we are deadlocked at 2. Don't go anywhere, my friends. I got a feeling the last 18 minutes and 15 seconds is going to be fun. This is Welsh. Welsh tried to get it forward there for Fenton. Fenton gets knocked down and putting his arms up in the air as if to say, hey, not me. That was Brookbank, I believe. Brockbank. So in the 62nd minute, Osidal Nova Scotia again now. Fairly sharp angle, but very deep from about the 5-yard area. Free kick opportunity here. Dangerous chance. Isaac Phillips on his line. And the right idea, just maybe a little too high as the cross was in. Nova Scotia was looking to bring a couple of bodies in and perhaps head that one in. But just a little too much height on that cross. And New Brunswick now will take control. Reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook. Send us your message. Use the hashtag TV1. That's TV and the number 1. Love to hear from you. Play in the second half. Score tied. New Brunswick. Boucher tried to do a nifty little back heel there. LeBlanc Stokes gets it to his teammate. Over on the line again for Boucher. Back to LeBlanc Stokes. Couldn't get around Hooper. Play right in about a 10-yard area, right on that sideline. And getting knocked down there was Youssef Diabet. He went down hard. Jumps right back up, though. Looks to be okay. Does number 6 in green for New Brunswick. Diabet. LeBlanc Stokes, long ball into the middle. And the Nova Scotia keeper, Adam Harvey, doesn't take any chances, gobbles that up and throws it forward for his teammates. New Brunswick quickly onto that ball, but Nova Scotia tries to turn the tide. Trying to go down that line. Closing the gap was Perry for New Brunswick. And the ball goes out of play once again. Two your score. Second game of the day here on day one of this Under-18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase, presented by Soccer Nova Scotia. That ball back into the middle again. Chance here now. Can they get it on goal? Spinning with it was Hooper. And a couple of bodies go flying, but a chance there as that ball was into the middle, and Hooper tried to spin around and get a foot on it for Nova Scotia, but got tied up at the last minute. And now the goal kick coming here from Phillips. Far side of the field, Nova Scotia with control. Stepping up is Zinn. Over along the line. Hooper well over there. Gets tangled up with the defender, and New Brunswick will come away with it. Diabet. Little touch over on the side. Go into the middle. New Brunswick quickly on it. Long ball up ahead. Can LeBlanc Stokes get there? Sethi, side by side, the two number 7s down the line, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Nova Scotia. Adam Harvey makes sure that he has his mates where he needs them. New Brunswick there first with a head on it. Tried to get Massamingo into the play. Diabet was there as well, but it goes all the way back, forcing Perry to retreat and get it for New Brunswick. He turns away from the defender, takes it over toward the sideline. Aquino knocked it down there for Nova Scotia, and it comes back to midfield. Here comes New Brunswick once again. Massamingo tried to chip that ball forward. He does. But his teammate got all tied up over on that far side. Nova Scotia trying to clog up the middle there and prevent any kind of attack from New Brunswick. Back to the outside there for Ellingwood. Comes to McGinn. Long shot well over top of the goal as Harvey waved his arms at it, but nowhere near it, as that was a good 3 or 4 feet over top of the crossbar in the Nova Scotia goal. So it'll be another goal kick for Harvey. Just over 12 minutes left to play in this second half. Your score is 2-2. 4 goals scored, but only 2 goal scorers. Cien Toussaint Occidal with 2 for Nova Scotia. And sandwiched in the middle, 2 goals from Herthier Massamingo. Here's Diabet down the side. Youssef Diabet kind of got tangled up there and is down on the field, and he's clutching at his right ankle. So Diabet went down, got tangled up with the defender, grabbed his ankle, but looks like the moment of pain has passed, and he's right back into the play for New Brunswick. That's number 6 in green. All the way back. Looks like Phillips is going to just come out and kick this one all the way back down. Stopped there by Zinn, took it off the chest, and it directed it over onto the side, and that'll go out of play. So the last few minutes, it seems that both of these teams are kind of caught in limbo between, do we want to kind of go into a defensive shell and protect this 2-2 tie, or do we want to push forward and see if we can get some kind of offensive chance? So it appears both teams kind of want to go forward and open it up offensively, but they're still kind of playing that little bit, clamp it down defensive style as well. Nova Scotia now looking to get it forward. It's onside as Osadal tried to run onto that one. He got in just behind the defense, but couldn't finish off the play. Aquino gets it back now. Nova Scotia trying to work something into the center of the pitch. Aquino comes over again. Long-range blast there, but it got knocked down. As you can see, Aquino took about 2 steps into it, but it was blocked by Ellingwood for New Brunswick. Harvey comes over now. Sethi on this near side. He takes a look upfield. Head up, eyes forward, and ball into the middle. Here comes Aquino. Took a look to the left, decides to take the ball to the right. Goes over to the sideline. Osadal lurking around that mid area. Ball down off the hands of Phillips and kicked away by LeBlanc Stokes there, as Nova Scotia was able to take that ball down the side and then work it right back toward the center of the pitch. And a little bit of an awkward moment for Phillips, as I'm not sure he got a very good beat on that ball off the foot of the Nova Scotia strike. So, a couple of substitutions here. Checking into the game, Kalalumia and Hebert. So 8 and 17 in, and 18 and 6 out for New Brunswick. So Kalalumia and Hebert into the game, and Lawler and Diabet are out for New Brunswick. So a couple of substitutions, some fresh legs out there. And certainly Kalalumia was dangerous early on. The combination of Kalalumia and Masamengo created several offensive opportunities. We'll see if they can get back on the same page here and create something for New Brunswick in the late stages of this second half. LeBlanc Stokes puts it up. That was headed away by Welsh. Welsh has it come back to him. Welsh again. Stop there, and Boucher gives it off, took it over toward the middle. Little dump off there for Masamengo. Coming in there with a shot from distance. Lurette saw that opportunity and put every ounce of his body into that shot. And he let a good strike go, but it just went a little high and wide. It was Hebert and Masamengo who were creating the initial offensive spark there. And then when the ball kind of squirted off to the side, it was Alexandre Lurette who saw the chance to have a go at goal, and he did just that. Down it comes now. McGinn has it go off him, and a hard collision, and both players tumble down, but it looks that everything is okay, and McGinn certainly, I think, took the heavier of that collision, but he was right back up and back into the play. So we will carry on. 7 minutes left to go here in this half. Score remains tied 2-2 between the New Brunswick under-18 boys and the Nova Scotia under-17 boys. Atlantic Showcase soccer action here from Raymond Field in Wolfville, Nova Scotia. Great to have you on board. I'm Scott Squires along with the Bell Alliant TV1 crew. Our broadcast position here, high above the field, just around the center field stripe. And an absolutely gorgeous view out over the Annapolis Valley from our vantage point here. Just a great venue for an event like this. And here's a chance. LeBlanc Stokes let it go on goal. So he had a good look there. And Adam Harvey had to be sharp. LeBlanc Stokes now will set this corner kick for New Brunswick. Straight over toward the middle, and nobody from New Brunswick able to make contact with it. And it'll go to the far side. Time ticking away here in this one. Just a reminder, a draw is a draw. There will be no overtime or shootout. So in the round robin, a draw will go into the ledger as just that. Back it goes. Logan Perry. He's played a strong game on that back line for New Brunswick. 23 in green has been a good one. LeBlanc Stokes had that great chance on goal moments ago. He dribbles with that ball now. Tried to put it forward, but the Nova Scotia defender had it go off his foot and out of bounds. So LeBlanc Stokes will throw back in for Nova Scotia. Gets it over there for Ellingwood. Ellingwood goes back to the aforementioned Perry. Perry goes over on that far side. Back into the middle now for Ellingwood. Ellingwood gets it up for Lorette. Lorette gets tripped. No call. Play carries on. And that looks to be offside for sure. No doubt Hooper was well in behind the last defender for New Brunswick as that ball went forward. And you could see right away the New Brunswick players had their arms up. And that was clearly offside. So New Brunswick will carry it forward now. Here comes McGinn. McGinn, little chip shot forward over the outstretched head of Zinn and into the arms of Harvey. And Harvey makes sure he gets things the way he wants them before he puts this ball back into play. Knocked down. Nova Scotia has it now in midfield. Over on this near side for Welsh. Sethi. Ball forward. Headed back down by New Brunswick. Alarbi fell. This is Lorette. Into the middle. Coming through it is Kalalumia. And another chance in toward goal. That went up and wide. Time certainly a factor now in this game. Score tied 2-2. 3 minutes and 15 seconds, all that's left in this half. That one floats down just about midfield. Comes down onto the foot of the New Brunswick player. And that one, wow, right up into our broadcast area here. Our cameraman Ron almost had to make a save. Sethi, under pressure there from Boucher. Gets it smartly forward there for Alarbi. Long lead ball in behind everybody. And Phillips has to come out. And Phillips, he may get a card for that. His reaction to not liking the referee's decision, he took that ball and in very clear body language kind of fired that ball away. And that's not going to make any official or referee feel too warm and fuzzy, that's for sure. So the free kick awarded to Nova Scotia here, about 16 yards out. A great opportunity here with 1:48 and counting to go. What an opportunity here for Nova Scotia. A free kick in a very dangerous area. It's set in low and deep. And it went past several players in front, and a great job by Phillips to keep focus and to be able to watch that ball into his midsection. So now we play on. 1:21 to go. Now the question will be how much time will be added on. There hasn't been a whole lot of stoppage, not a whole lot of injury time or anything, so you might expect 1, maybe 2 minutes max, if at all. Here's Kalalumia now. Kalalumia knocks that ball down, gets it back, chance in toward goal, knocked down by Nova Scotia. Spinning with it there, Hebert. Kalalumia comes over, tries to pick that ball off again, but it's Nova Scotia who are able to get it out over midfield. And down the left side, Looking to perhaps make a run onto that ball was Fenton, but just a little too far beyond him. So as the last few seconds here, 35 to be exact. So that's what we'll keep an eye on now is extra time. How much, if any, will the head referee tag on to this game? And if he does tag it on, will it be enough time for one of these teams to put something together and get a chance on goal? Final 10 seconds of regulation. Mesamengo has it taken out of bounds. And now Welsh. Last couple of seconds here. Will there be time? There is extra time. Let's hope that the extra time scoreboard guy spins around far enough for us to see. I believe there was 2 minutes. 2 minutes of extra time put on that clock. So I'm going to set my timer for about a little less than 2 minutes just to give a rough idea of when the referee may blow his whistle. So we are in extra time now. We are completely at the discretion of the head official as to when this game ends. Tried to get that ball up for Fenton, did Nova Scotia. That didn't work. In with it now is McGinn. McGinn tries to curl it toward the middle, but that doesn't work, and Harvey will gather that up, and it'll be a goal kick for Nova Scotia. And based on the 2 minutes, there'd be about 1:25 left in the extra time. But again, it's completely at the discretion of the head official. I'm just giving you a rough estimate based on the 2 minutes that was given. Comes into Phillips. He gathers it up. Phillips, long kick down, headed away by Nova Scotia, back into midfield. Over for a look there was Ellingwood. He couldn't get it, but it comes down to McGinn. McGinn pushes it forward, little chip shot ahead, trying to find Kalalumia. That didn't work. Inside a minute now of extra time, about 45 seconds, based on the 2 minutes that were given at the end of regulation. And again, that is just my estimate, not official. We are completely at the discretion of the main man in yellow, the head referee. There's about 25 seconds of that initial 2 minutes left of actual time. Not referee time, of course. Back to Phillips it goes. New Brunswick now. You got to think it's going to come, and there it is. 3 blasts from the referee's whistle signifies the end of this contest. A very good fixture between these two teams. The New Brunswick under-18 boys team and the Nova Scotia under-17 boys team battled long, battled hard, and at the end of the day, a 2-2 draw. Scoring for Nova Scotia, it was Sian Toussaint Osidal with both goals. He scored his first at the 2 minute mark, and then that made it 1-0. And then it was Herthier Mesamengo in the 25th minute, tying it up for New Brunswick. And then in the second half, Mesamengo again in minute 56 made it 2-1 New Brunswick. And then 6 minutes after that, it was Osidal again for Nova Scotia in the 62nd minute, making it 2-2, and that's the way we ended up. So Osidal with 2 for Nova Scotia, and Mesamengo with 2 for New Brunswick. We'll be back on the air with our next game at 6:30 Atlantic time. Until then, on behalf of our Bell Alliance TV1 crew, I'm Scott Squires, saying thank you very much for watching. This has been a live presentation of Bell Alliance TV1 of the Under-18 Atlantic Soccer Showcase. Once again, your final score: Nova Scotia Under-17 boys and New Brunswick Under-18 boys end up in a 2-2 draw. We'll see you at 6:30 Atlantic. For now, so long from Raymond Field.